Oh, right, yeah. Night 5 of these riots. Um, yeah, they're still going for it. But I always think with these things, or what, same with the LA riots. I always think like once you get into a crowd, it becomes diminished responsibility, and it becomes no longer the reason you're rioting. It just become like it's like people lose themselves in the crowd almost, and then it takes on something else. Come on in, Nola. Come on. Um, but yeah, let's watch these. Also, people have been saying in the comments that these people have been burning people out their homes. I can't find that. Link me some. My email's in the description, or just put it in the comments. But you'll have, if you put a link in the comments, kind of write something. Even if you just write a whole load of nothing letters all bunched together, because for some reason, well, I guess it's because they don't like spamming. It just seems as spam. But people have put links up on my thing, and then it just deletes them. It deletes things with links. But yeah, send me the footage because that is wrong. Don't be burning people out their houses. Um, yeah, I mean you're overstepping a line once you start rioting, but um, yeah, burning people out their homes is bad. But I can't find that, to be honest. I like the only other video I found. It's just like stuff like this where it's a line of police and people chucking stuff and the police, whatever. It's basically like longer versions of the ones that we watched in the last one. So yeah, if anyone's got links of videos of the removing people from their home, then yeah, link me them. Send me a link. But yeah, let's watch this.
For a second night running on Friday, young men from the Loyalist community in Portadown on the streets. Fireworks, masonry, petrol bombs, all hurled at police lines. Police are talking of coordination in Portadown, that had observed people associated with paramilitary groups near the protests.
So the police have withdrawn about 50 metres from their original front line. They are being relatively tolerant of the stuff that's being thrown at them unless people approach very close.
Do you think they told him, one, dress in a helmet because you're saying might hit you on the head, but also wear North Face and Nike and stuff like that in case if you do get separated, they'll just think you're one of them with a helmet.
In which case they do occasionally intervene. The general plan seems to be to try to de-escalate, to allow this protest to blow itself out. But for now, there's no sign that the protesters are ready to leave just yet.
And indeed, shortly before midnight, the decision taken to disperse the demonstrators. Repeated forward surges, breaking up the crowd over the next 40 minutes. This explosion of violence began here in Ballymena on Monday. Riots initially targeting Roma households, spreading quickly to others after two teenagers appeared in court on charges of attempted rape.
Oh, down the next one, sorry, my bad. And then you can
Community worker Demi Laverty grew up in Ballymena. She's saddened by what's happened this week, angry that the issue of violence against women and girls has been overshadowed.
The rage almost get targeted at that community. Now, that would be obviously generalisation and stereotyping, which are fallout of socioeconomic disadvantage and deprivation. And for you to have 8,000 people on your live stream and them not actually, you not then talk about that this was actually a march to end violence against women and children, that potentially then would have led you to believe that this was an anti-immigration protest.
Like Demi, Jake comes from a mixed Catholic Protestant family. He was out live streaming some of the protests. He disavows the violence, but sympathizes with an anti-immigration cause he says has unified people across sectarian divides.
It's not that they want all immigrants out, no, that's not necessarily the case. It's just that for examples of the ones that do come in and do, you know, these horrible, atrocious things, they want their women and children of the country to be safe.
There are all sorts of people who feel now threatened by what's been going on. Where do you stand on that?
They do feel threatened. That's not right. I do agree that they shouldn't have to feel like that in their own home. But at the same time, something does need to be done about the incidents that happened.
Others, though, feel unified by an opposing force, coalescing in public today against the racist violence they feel has shamed Northern Ireland and terrorised those they want to feel welcome here.
That's the other thing as well, is the diversity makes us stronger, because it hasn't. That's like all anyone's talking about. Um, so it's Romanians then. And yeah, I mean, like I say, I do think these riots become just a thing of their own. And like she said, it's the same with the ones in LA. The riots in LA are no longer about what they was about. They are just about the left saying nothing happened, and the right saying they're rebelling or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like it becomes just a competition between the left and the right. But yeah, like I say, it's like my advice to the country and to the government is to stop calling people racist and actually listen to what they're saying, whether they're justified in saying what they're saying or not. By just dismissing, obviously they have a strong feeling about something, because 5 nights is a long time to riot. Normally things fizzle out by then. Do you know what I mean? They say it's like 3 days and the world gets over anything. If you give something 3 days, it's like they say don't respond to something for 3 days and then see how you feel about it in 3 days when you're not as emotionally triggered by the thing. But 5 days is a long time, and that's the thing. Look, I'm not saying that there aren't racist people probably in that thing that are doing it for that reason. But to just say there's only one way you can explain this and that's racism, it's like, well, nah, that's that is a. I mean, because there's infinite ways to explain anything. You can explain anything in an infinite amount of ways. So to say that there's only one way to describe something is, again, it's just, yeah, it's one. It's kind of like it's not fair to just dismiss people's things as that. But it also means if you can just say that they're racist, then you don't have to actually do anything about what they're talking about. And people are right. People are right in the comments that people have said, yeah, and I 100% agree. To be honest, the grooming gangs and the immigrant grooming side of things is a very new issue in the UK and Ireland. But what is a more long-standing and more damaging and detrimental thing to us is the elite paedophiles. 100% agree. Someone said there was no uproar when it was a politician um, that got done. But the other thing is that politicians don't live in the streets with you. It is a kind of, they're a removed thing. And the other thing is people don't want to talk about that either. Like there is a although grooming gang seems to be now, it seems to be, and I actually think that comes more on the fact that people are starting to realize that your elites are pedophiles, basically. Not all, not all, but the ones that are, yeah, in power, basically. Yeah, but people, it's true that yeah, you can say that, but it's like it's the same thing as people don't. You don't tend to go and burn down somewhere that's a company that's just took all your money for something. Do you know what I mean? But you have more of a fear to the street attacker, the person who's going to pull a knife out and rob you, even though arguably the person from the bank or whatever company that's going to rob you can do a lot more damage. It's just not as in your face as. And the other thing is politicians don't live around you. These people have to get up and yeah, look at this. But the trouble is this is an escalation. This is not something that's just come out of nowhere. Like I said, I've seen this coming for ages. I've seen this, and I think most people have. And then you still get people that are like, you're denying a large percentage of the UK's opinion. And like I say, whether they're right or not, it doesn't matter. That group is growing and growing and growing. And if you don't acknowledge that and at least kind of, yeah, don't keep calling everybody racist. It's like, that's the thing. And all that's going to do is amp people up even more. And the other thing is if you keep calling people racist, that's the trouble. It's like when emergency services say, when everything's urgent, nothing's urgent. When everything's racist, nothing's racist. It says everything is. So the fact that, and also if you can paint these people as racist, then it means you don't have to listen to what they're saying. You don't have to address them. They can be dismissed as just racist thugs. And then again, that is not helping the situation that is growing in the UK, that people are sick of immigration. It's like, now to me, it really doesn't bother me. Like, where I live is not really that massively affected by this. But there are places that are, do you know what I mean? And there are people that are sick of it. And it's like, to say there isn't and to just dismiss it as racism is more dangerous than if you actually just listen to the people and actually give them, like, as if you're listening and you are going to do something about it. Like, and I'm not saying, again, this is a more general thing than just this riots. Like, this riot is just a in your face thing of the moment about it. Um yeah, it's a more general take on the whole of the UK instead of just this incident. Like, people said, "Oh no, they did arrest the boy," which is fair enough. Like, they arrest the boy, but again, it's like, you, there's still the, like, it's happened over and over, and like I say, it's changing now. You're starting to see grooming gangs be mentioned about everything, on everything. It's like that isn't as a taboo thing. But I 100% agree that the real problem in the UK, like I say, most of our dangerous criminals and most um, the volatile people have come from child homes where they was abused by rich white elite men. It's like, I will 100% give you that there's more problems that you can tie to that. But then that doesn't dismiss the fact that there are grooming gangs, and um, that's a problem too. Like, it both is. Yeah. But if I was you, I would stop just dismissing people as racist. That's not going to help. It's not going to help to just call people racist when it's just not productive. And the thing is, if you keep calling someone racist, like, didn't Mike Tyson said something along them lines. Like, what it was his mentality back in the day. Like, when I walk into a room, you already think I'm a piece of shit by just how I look. And if you get that feeling from people where they look at you as if you're like a piece of shit, he's like, you just think, well, fuck it then, I'll be a piece of shit. If you keep calling everyone racist, it's like, well, all right, then we'll be racist. But also, I do want to see the footage of them burning people out their homes, because it did say in that um, that they was burning people out their homes, which, yeah, that's terrible. You shouldn't do that. I mean, I don't agree with setting things on fire anyway, just because it's too indiscriminate. Like, it's a to be honest, it's kind of a cowardly act to set fire to someone's house. But like I say, if 20, 15 years ago you listened to what people were starting to feel and did something then, addressed it then, and handled it then, you wouldn't be here now. But instead, you just said, no, these people are just racist. Their opinion doesn't matter. But the trouble is that group of racists, the opinion don't matter, is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And soon they are going to be the majority if they're not already. But yeah, what do I know? That's the reaction. Sweet.